Well, hi there, everybody. My name is Noreen Smith from Organized and Creative Mom, and I'm so thrilled to be back here today with you for another episode of Technique Tasters from Creative Scrapbooker Magazine. And before I get started, I of course want to thank Jackie and Katerina from Creative Scrapbooker for inviting me back to share some fun new products with you from Creative Memories. So if you haven't already grabbed your copy of the summer issue of Creative Scrapbooker, make sure you do, because it is just chock full of lots of summer scrapping inspiration. So you don't want to let the summer go by without grabbing your copy of this fantastic issue. And speaking of summer, Creative Memories has just launched a new collection called Seaside, as you can see, and it's going to be the perfect collection for documenting all of your adventures this summer on the water. Beautiful sort of nautical blues and reds, great patterns like the cabana stripes, seashells, anchors, some geometrics and watercolors, and then beautiful sort of tone on tones with, again, that nautical navy, red, blue, and gray and beige tones. So I just love the papers in the paper pack. But there's a second paper pack that is more of a textural or tone on tone paper pack. And this one has, again, kind of sandy dunes, wood grain, water, shadows. This one's a lovely watercolor that sort of looks like the beach, but in a red pattern. And then more textures, like woven textures. And again, on the back, we've got more wood grains, watercolors, distressed. And I love, love, love this shell pattern, photographic background. So I'm actually going to be using some papers from this particular pack. And I'm also going to be using some papers from this pack of specialty papers. These are 3 laser cut papers that will make creating pages just so fast for you. So the one that I'm going to use is this fantastic sort of large circle with the beach chairs on the sand looking out at the water. But there are also 2 other laser pages, one that features more of a shell design, and these are reversible, so you kind of have 2 different choices there. And then another one that features a fun lighthouse scene with some seagulls, again reversible. Now, to kind of decorate my page, I'm going to be using some of these layered embellishments. You can see that these are all ready to go for you. Again, some photographic elements. I love this driftwood with the starfish on them. There's 12 different designs that you can choose from, and then there's also some complementing pearl, self-adhesive pearls. And if you don't have the layered embellishment, of course, the sticker pack is an incredible thing to grab for all of the beautiful designs and word art and borders that you could need to complete your pages. The final part of the collection that I might work with today is some of these matte cards. We've got the 4x6 size and the 4.5 by 6.5 inch size, which again are perfect for matting your photos super fast and either using as journals or using for titles. There's just so many ways that you can use these cards. And then we've got 2 fun new tools that I'm going to for sure use the new Border Maker cartridge. This is the rope chain Border Maker cartridge, and this is the anchor punch. Not sure if I'll use the anchor punch, but that Border Maker cartridge is going to create a beautiful rope-like border that we're going to incorporate onto our page. And there you can see the size of the anchor punch. Again, it's going to work beautifully with the Seaside collection. So let me clear all of this away and let's get started with our laser cut page. So as I mentioned, I'm going to be using the Seaside texture papers for this layout along with the laser cut page. And I think what I'd like to do is use this kind of like sandy background as my base page, and then mounting my laser cut page on top. So I'm going to start off by just tracing my circle, the opening of the laser cut page, onto my background page. just so I know where I can place my photos. And because I only have 3 photos, I'm going to use one of the cards as a title card. I think this one actually might work quite well. That's the arrangement that I want to do. I'm just going to use some repositionable adhesive just to hold my photos in place. So, and I'm also just going to tack my laser cut page down so it doesn't move. Repositionable adhesive is great for these kinds of things. All right, so now I'm going to take my photo labeling pencil and just draw, this will erase off the edge, but I'm just going to draw that edge of the circle on top of my photos. And then I'll know where to cut them. So just gently pull all of this apart. And you can see now that I can tell where I need to cut my photos. And I'm just going to cut a little outside the edge so that I have something to, you know, I make sure that I'm not missing anything. I've got all of my photos actually adhered. I'm going to use my regular tape runner adhesive on the back side of my laser cut page. So now we'll line this all up. I want to create a border using the new rope chain border maker cartridge. And of course this is this creates straight borders, but what I'm hoping to do is to actually create a border that will go all the way around the circle and really kind of frame that circle effect. So the first thing we're going to do is place our paper onto our 13 by 13 inch cutting mat so that we can get a nice even circle. I just put a little bit of, again, repositionable adhesive on the back. And then we're going to use the circle cutter at its largest measurement. Now on the circle cutter you can see that it does go up to 12, but just because of where the dial stops, the largest circle that you can get is about a 11 3/4. But in order to get it centered, we just need to make a couple of marks first. I'm just going to take my zero centering ruler and I'm going to draw down at the 6-inch mark, then draw across at the 6-inch mark. And the way I'm going to center it is I'm going to look at these 2 black lines and I'm going to center those on top of the vertical line that I've got going down the middle. Then I'm going to look down from above and center the horizontal line in the middle of my window. So now all we need to do is press down on this blue dome. We're going to push in the little white button here to engage the blade, and we're just going to swing it around. Kind of reminds me of like a math protractor that you used when you were doing geometry. And then we're going to lift away the excess. Now our circle is still stuck here, and now you can see that we can much more easily access the 45-degree inch lines. So I'm just going to draw those on here. And these are going to be important when we are lining up our border maker punch. I'm just simply going to place the rope chain border maker cartridge inside the housing, and then this is going to act as a punch. We're going to flip it over so that we can see our punch here, and I'm just going to basically use what I see as the middle of this punch design. That's where we're going to line up our pencil marks. So we're going to slide that in, eyeball it as best we can so that our pencil mark matches the middle of the punch, and then we're just going to go ahead and punch. We're going to do that all the way around at our marked lines. Now we have all of the lines. Wherever we've marked a line, we've created a punch, and now we're going to go back in and do our best to kind of center the punch between the 2 openings. So again, I'm just going to use the corners of the punch as my guide. So I'm just kind of looking to see that it's as close to the center of that section as I can, and punch. And you're going to see that we're going to get a really nice sort of rope wreath out of this circle. So let me just go ahead and finish punching the in-between spaces on this circle. So now I have completed all my punching, and I've got this kind of rope wreath. I'm going to just, with a pair of scissors, you're just going to go in and kind of trim off all of these little extra bits. Don't worry too much about it being, you know, uneven. Again, this is meant to be kind of a rustic rope wreath. So my rope wreath is all ready, and I'm ready to sort of assemble it around the circular design of my page. I'm going to have to do just a little bit of cutting, and I also have to decide which side I want to feature. So now that I'm turning this over, the more peachy side is a little bit too light. I do like how that darker red picks up some of the reds in my photos, provides a bit of contrast, and I think it's going to work well when I add some of those fun shells in there. So all I really have to do now is trim down my rope wreath a little bit, and I may have to put a couple of release cuts so that it will go around the entire area, and I'll just trim it off there. And then add my embellishments, my journaling, some pretty little pearls, and maybe a few extra little sticker icons to finish off my page. And I'll be sure to share a photo of the finished layout just at the end of the video here. So once again, don't forget to grab your copy of the summer issue of the magazine. I'm really excited that I have an article featuring the circle cutter on page 74 of this particular issue. But again, there are so many amazing ideas in here that you are going to be scrapbooking all summer long. So thanks very much for joining me on this episode of Technique Tasters. Thanks very much to Creative Scrapbooker for having me, and I hope to see you again soon to share some more fun ideas for using Creative Memories products. Bye-bye for now.